Hello, gentlemen. I'm the Abyss Fall, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we're doing something very different. Today, we're going to be talking to a musician who's straight out of Dallas, Texas. Say hello to Merik Monroe of the Allo Mines.
Hey everybody.
So, what we do on this podcast is we take beginning musicians or musicians in general, and we kind of talk about like their music, what it's like to be a musician, and like we just get to have a conversation about like the music industry and like what's their inspirations and like all the stuff like that. So, like, Merrick, who are you?
Hi. I'm Merik Monroe. I'm in a band. Well, not really, but I make music and you know, I do all the cool things that cool musicians do, um, to an extent, considering I'm 16. But yeah, you can stream my music everywhere. Um, it's everywhere.
And what's
It's
the
everywhere.
name of your new EP?
But the name of my new EP is called Don't Worry or Deep Breaths, Darling. I was gonna call it Don't Worry, Darling, but there's a movie called Don't Worry, Darling, so it's called Deep Breaths, Darling.
And what gave you inspiration for the name of the EP?
So, um, the EP generally is kind of a getaway for me. I mean, there's a lot of meaning to the EP. However, the biggest, one of the biggest, is the fact that I feel like I can listen to it when I need to I need to like de-stress, when I need to take a deep breath. And I wrote it um for like taking a deep breath because that's like I said, that's kind of what it's about. So I just wanted a kind of wanted a personal giveaway or getaway, you know.
I like that explanation. That was really cool. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
What was your main inspiration for this EP? Like what like kind of like really made you like want to be into music and drop this EP and just drop music in general? Like not like
So
place music, more like.
yeah. Yeah, I like that question. So the first song I ever wrote was in 2020, and I picked up my guitar, threw it together, and it was a love song, but it was about my friend. It was a love song dedicated to a friend instead of to like a lover. You know, like I really appreciated this friend I had, and her name was Maddie, and she's one of the biggest, you know, like people in my life. She was my first friend when I moved here to Waxahachie, and we have so much in common, and we're just like, you know, like she is me kind of. And so I wrote it about her, and I showed my mom, and my mom was like, "Wow, Merrick, that's really good." I was like, "Thank you." She's like, "No, like that's really good." I was like, "Thank you." And so well, as well as the fact that music like runs in my family quite a bit. Um, but I, you know, I figured I should just share what I have, you know, deep within my heart with people that are feeling the same things. And the first song I ever wrote, or that I ever dropped or released, was called "Fermented." And to be honest, it was about my faith. It was about struggling with faith, and like it was kind of like I want to believe, and I want to feel. You know, I want to feel something. I want to know what's out there. And yeah, that was the inspiration for my first song. And the EP I wrote entirely about a girl um, who I've known since birth. Quite frankly, our parents were friends in high school, and you know, my mom's friend had a girl, and you know, she had a boy, obviously. So I was the boy, and the other girl was a girl, obviously. And her name was Lily, and so that's why I wrote that song, Lily. And the cover art is me and Lily at a young age, and yeah, man.
That's really cool. I that's actually very like touching to a point. Like I did not know that. Like I plan on reacting to well I still plan on reacting to the entire EP. So now knowing that like kind of knowledge that makes it kind of more like
Yeah,
sentimental and it's just that's very cool. Like that's honestly, I bet she's like very happy that you did that, like dropped like kind of an EP about like y'all's friendship or whatever, like kind of a relationship y'all both have.
Yeah, I mean, I hope. I think she was pretty excited about it.
But I've listened to Fermented and I quite enjoyed that track, and I just want to know in your thought process, what was your inspiration? Like, what is like the bands that what you think about whenever you kind of go to describe what your music is? Like, is there a certain like kind of artist that kind of you can explain, go like, oh, this is what I kind of sound similar to, but I also sound similar to this artist. Like, is there any artist that you say you sound similar to?
That's a good question. An artist that I think I sound similar to. Um, that's a tough one. I will say that there are a lot of artists that I take from, like my playing when I play the keys. I'll take it from the 1975. Um, and they're my biggest inspiration. Generally, is the 1975. They're my favorite band of all time, and I love them so much. And their writing is just it just blows me away. And I wanted to be like the 1975. However, the diversity within the band when we were still together pushed us to be our own sound. And I actually wrote that song alone. Every instrument on that song was played by me, and I'm the only voice on it. It was a piano and some strings, and my voice. But yeah, and on the EP, I played the drums, the bass, the guitar, the synth, and I sang all by myself.
That's really cool because that kind of reminds me of I don't know if you know this band, but the Foo Fighters, their entire first album. No one really knows this unless they really know like backstory of that band. Dave Grohl did all the instrumentals to the album by himself, and it was a really good album. So that kind of like is a cool parallel because like I have a good feeling that you'll make it because like the amount of work that you put into your music, like you've showed me a snippet of a song that you have, and then I've listened to Fermented, and I've like listened to the stuff that's been posted except the EP, and I can just tell that you have a huge passion about this music and a huge passion about what you do, and every like musician that makes it has to have like a strong passion about what they're doing, and like the fact that you did all the instrumental by yourself and were able to do the strings, the piano, the bass, the drums, everything like that, just to drop a track that for people to enjoy. That's very like that just shows how dedicated you are to like the music.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I didn't know that about the Foo Fighters. I used to be the biggest Foo Fighters fan, to be honest, because I was also the biggest Nirvana fan. And yeah, I adore Dave Grohl. He's one of my favorite people ever. I wish one day to meet him. Um, but yeah, that's pretty legit. Um, Another band. Well, there's quite a few that I look up to. I look up to M83 a lot. I look up to 21 Pilots. Um, this is gonna sound crazy, but I look up to Taylor Swift to an extent because I feel that she can play really well, and I like her writing. I just don't like her as a person. And if anybody's out there listening and they're like, "Oh my God, this guy," yeah, I'm that guy. I hate Taylor Swift. However, she's very talented, and I respect her a lot, but I'm not the biggest fan.
Oh,
Um,
trust me, I'm the same way. And I mean, like I'll give like she has some songs like Taylor Swift has a couple songs I'll admit I enjoy. Like I enjoy "In My Wildest Dreams." That's probably one of my favorite songs by her. And then of course you have to be at 3 in the morning listening to "We Don't Belong Together" with the boys. But it's
yeah, bro, that song hits.
but her her personality in general is something I don't really vibe with in general. And it's just like she's just like I don't know. Like, there's some things about like I liked her as her old self, but as she's matured, she's just someone I really vibe with. So I kind of like agree with your opinion on that.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Excuse me. I look up to the Smiths a lot. I love the Smiths. Um, they're a big part of what I do. The Talking Heads, the Midnight.
Ooh.
They all fit into like this '80s, super '80s, like really romantic, like post-apocalyptic vibe that I would love to go for.
Yeah.
And yeah, man.
I didn't really expect the Smith. I did to a certain point because I remember me and you talked about it at one point, but like I just didn't. When you just like most people when they mention like the night 1975 and 21 Pilots and whatnot, most of them do not listen to old music, so it's kind of like cool
Yeah,
to see like a musician that appreciates both sides of like older music and newer music and gets inspirations from both of them.
yeah,
So that's real. Like that was something I didn't really expect, and that was really cool.
yeah. Dang, I left one out. One more. Sorry. Bread. I don't know if you know who that is. I don't know if anybody knows who that is, but they're this old country love song band that I love with all my heart. Bread. Look them up. They're really good.
I'll have to. That's a really funny name, Bread. That's
Yeah.
great. Um, I agree with a couple of like of your inspiration. Like, there's a few of them. Like, I definitely heard into it. Like, I definitely heard like the 1975 because you're the one that actually got me into that band. I remember you showed me into them,
Yeah.
and I just
Oh
listened to
yeah.
a few of their tracks. Like, okay, this is pretty good. 21 Pilots. I like a few of their songs. I'm not the greatest fan, but I definitely heard that within them. And then the Smiths, surprisingly, I hear that a lot now that you mention it. Like, it's kind of funny how, like, whenever, like, an artist says who their inspiration is, and then right when they tell you, it's just, like, it snaps, and you're like, that's who it is. That's what it sounds like. And that's kind of really cool.
Yeah, man. I love the Smiths.
Every time I think of the Smiths, I think of that one movie with that girl, or that actress from New Girl in Jordan Lewitt Pevitt or something, whatever his name is. Because it was just this elevator scene, and the girl went up to him and she said, "I love the Smiths," and then that kind of started off their like friendship and everything.
Yeah,
So
500 Days of Summer.
that yeah,
That's an emotional movie, man.
I've heard it's an emotional movie. I wanted to see it because they're actually both like musicians and they both can sing and everything like that. So I always love a good like movie that actually has actresses and actors that can sing. Like what's a good example? I love Yesterday, that movie about that guy, like if the Beatles never existed, that was a good movie. August
That
Rush,
was a great movie. That was it was a mind twister.
and the plot was nothing of what I expected. Like I was watching
Yeah.
during because I'm in this class called music ensemble where we students get to perform like use our instruments and perform for a crowd that the school sponsors. And it was during the Christmas one year, and he wanted to show us this movie, so we watched the movie, and it was such a like it was not what I was expecting. I just thought it
That's
was,
crazy.
and it was a very good movie. And when John Lennon scene came up, when like we all know that John Lennon passed away in the '70s, I believe, and when that scene came up, it looked so much like him. I remember a lot of
Yeah.
people got emotional, and I was just like, wow, because the Beatles were like such a strong band in the '60s and '70s. They built like a lot of that sound. Like they were part of the that entire like hippie type of era they had, and they had their own music, and then they were a very crucial part of like music history.
Yeah, they were definitely the headlining band of like the whole, the British are coming era, kind of like the Wonderwall phase, where like Oasis was real big, and then you had like the Clash, all these bands coming out of England. Um, yeah, they're all so good. They have a big part of me too.
Like a lot of my favorite bands come from the England and Great Britain. Like I love Pink Floyd. I
Yeah, bro,
love
me
like
too.
Black Sabbath. I love I think it was the Clash. I think the Clash came from England. I'm pretty sure. And it's like
Yeah,
a lot of like the major rock bands back in the '60s and '70s and even the '80s were all mostly British, and I did not know that growing up. Like AC/DC was, Black Sabbath was, Oasis was, and a whole bunch of other like rock bands. I just never knew that they were like British, and that's really cool to think about how a majority of like American rock music originated from England.
yeah, man.
Really cool. But I do kind of want to ask. So since
Yeah.
you dropped this EP, and kind of like got that out of your system. Is there any other like stuff you're having planned out?
So the very next thing I'm gonna drop is a song, and it's about this whole year, 2022. However, the title is called June because I feel like June was just hell. Like June sucked, man. There was a lot of emotion in June. There was a lot of milestones in June. Um, June sucked, but I'm writing a song right now. With that title, and the vocals are just gonna be this long 2.5 minutes of me screaming, because that's just how I felt about June. It sounds kind of silly, but yeah. And after that, sometime in 2023, obviously, when I get it all, like written out, I'm gonna write about 20 songs and put them all on an album that I would love to release. So definitely be tuned in for that.
And like that's really like for this a new track that you're going to be dropping. What kind of like when you say screaming, quote unquote, do you mean like Slipknot screaming, or do you mean just like your own
No, I
like?
mean just like I'm like I'm like pouring my heart out, like just screaming, not like screaming with an intent, but screaming
Just
with
kind of like
emotion.
getting all them emotions off your chest and like kind of just
Yeah,
putting it all into that one song. Okay,
yeah,
that's a cool
exactly.
concept.
Yeah,
So
bro.
the track's gonna be called June Sucks, right?
Yes.
Well, all my Deepest Fallen fans, make sure to check out for that song coming up. I'll definitely be waiting for that one. Uh, so another part of this segment I kind of want to talk about is the is breaking a song by song breakdown and kind of like taking like your tracks and others other tracks in general, and kind of just breaking them down and seeing what your thought process is of like making a song.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
like, how do you start a song? Do you just like grab your cue stick and you just come up with some lyrics or whatnot, or do you come up with lyrics first and then grab the instrumental, or do you grab the instrumental and then like make it, then find some lyrics for it? So like, what's your thought, your process?
So it's all just all of that thrown around randomly at different points of time. Um, for different songs, I'll pick up my acoustic and just throw something together. For another song, I'll pick up my acoustic and really work on it. And then for another song, I'll like go into GarageBand and like play with something, and I'm like, oh man, that sounds good. And then I'll run over to my computer and then put it into Ableton, and then like record, and then I'll have like a really good song. For others, like Fermented, I wrote it after a breakdown I had. It was really bad, and I was like, you know what I need to do? I need to write a song right now. And so I wrote it, and right then and there, I recorded it as well.
Oh wow, those are always the
Yeah,
best types of songs. Because of I remember correctly, I looked on YouTube, and I know Fermented. I was it the it was either the music video or the lyrical video. I can't quite remember, but I
yeah.
know it's got nearly 300 views. And what do you feel about that? Like, did you expect the song to kind of blow up that big?
No, I I'm glad that it has as many views as it has, and shoot for more, obviously, but that's crazy. I'm I couldn't be happier. I just thought that I would get my music out there, and people would be like, "Oh, music, I'm not gonna listen to it, and I'm not gonna like it." But people are actually showing me love, and I really appreciate it. And yeah, man,
So
it
for
feels good.
the audio, the official audio, as you can see, like is it begins up with like just like someone in a vehicle, or just like a camera shot out of a vehicle of just like I'm just gonna guess it's Dallas at night. I'm pretty sure it's Dallas. So
Yeah.
where'd you kind of get that inspiration? Like where'd you get from like your photo, your cinematography from, like your cinematics from? What made you kind of go for like that shot?
Bring Me the Horizon and
Really,
Tame Impala. Yeah,
I would not
and
have guessed that. That's really
I
cool.
know it sounds really random. But Bring Me the Horizon has this vibe to them, as well as Tame Impala and 1975. That is all just my vibe. I want to say it's like wabi sabi, but it's just like it just feels like home to me. Um, when I recorded that video, you were correct. I was in a car, I was in the back seat, and I had the best night of my life. And let me tell you why. I was coming back from a My Chemical Romance concert, and it was the best show I've ever been to. And I was blown away, and I was like, man, I didn't get much videos during the concert, so why don't I just get a video so I can remember that I went to the concert? And so I just shot the video like out the window of me passing a bunch of buildings and billboards, and the video is actually on loop because like the actual video is like 15 seconds long, and so I just put it on loop. So if you pay close attention, you'll see the same billboard pass like 40 times. It's really funny. But yeah,
I never
yeah,
noticed
just
that. Like, I thought it was actually you just recording for like nearly 2 minutes and like 40 seconds, and just like sticking your phone out the window. I was like, oh, that's cool. But that makes way more sense now. And
yeah,
like,
bro,
since I am a My Chemical Romance fan, I have to ask, what were they like in concert?
dude, what do you think they were like in concert? It was it was amazing, man. Cancer had all these like goth girls around me, like bawling their eyes out, and I was just like, I was sitting there. I didn't cry at all. As much as I wanted to, I couldn't because I was just like in shock. I was like, am I actually here? And then I heard those Cancer chords, and it was like, "Ba, ba, ba, ba," and everybody around me was like, and they like started crying, and like they closed the show with that. And Gerard was on stage, and everybody had their phones out, like waving their flashlights around. And I got a small video, but it was the craziest thing. I was like, "This is my home. Like this is where I'm meant to be. Like this is what is everything."
I know,
And
I know
it was crazy.
exactly what you mean. Back in, I think it was June for me, or the late of March, beginning of June. I went to a Machine Gun Kelly concert, and they opened up with Ian Dior and Black Bear. And I have to admit, I never had been to a huge concert before. The only concert I've ever been to is a cover show of Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, and Stone Temple Pilots. So I had no idea what to expect.
Bro,
And
that's the coolest though.
oh, it was awesome. The tribute show was amazing. Like, every guy sounded exactly like the singers of every one of the bands. But
That's dope.
but for the Machine Gun Kelly concert, I had no idea what to expect. It was like 20,000 people there. It was in that huge like arena in Dallas, and
Yeah.
it was one of the best experiences of my life because all it was is like everyone hates on Machine Gun Kelly, but every single one in that audience was just. Hopefully this doesn't get me canceled. But everyone there was just doing drugs and just having the best time of their life. Like, there was no negativity in that building whatsoever, and like concerts are very powerful, I believe, because like it's just a whole bunch of people with their energies just like all full of positivity, and there's just no bad thoughts in there whatsoever. It's just all the emotions running through everybody, and everyone just trying to have a fun time. So it's just like, I definitely encourage people to go to more concerts, like expensive, if like some of them are expensive, but like if you have the money, go to them because their experience, like, it's one of the best experiences you'll ever have.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
Concerts are just, they're amazing, and I love them so much. Speaking of which, how many concerts have you been to?
Okay, let me count. So my first concert was a small club called Club Dada in Deep Ellum, and there was a band. Their names were Little Image, and they're like my favorite band. Well, one of them. Um, and there's these three guys. And they're just like like the best music. So I saw them last November. Um, and then I went to a Hillsong United concert at American Airlines. Sat in the nosebleeds. It was still really good. And then after that, I saw Corey Asbury. He came to a random college actually in Waxahachie. He just like showed up. It was really funny. And then I saw 21 Pilots in September, as well as My Chemical Romance in September.
That was a
And I
good month.
think, yeah, oh yeah, bro, that was the best month of my life, dude. And I think that's about it. I'm pretty sure that's about it.
What's a concert you'd love to go to, like dead or alive, any musician? What was one concert you'd want to go to?
My two dream concerts
Like dead or
are the night.
alive, any artist.
My two dream concerts are the 1975 and um Metallica.
What made you go for Metallica?
When I listen to Metallica, I'll only listen to their first album, Kill 'Em All. I love that album, and when I listen to it, it makes me feel like the main character. I know that's really cliche of me to say. I hate saying it, to be honest, but the music on that album is the greatest, and I want to see it live. You know, I want to see them play "Hit the Lights" live, and Whiplash, and like, you know, I just I want to be where I'm meant to be.
Yeah, Metallica is like I like them. I'm not a big fan of their newer music, but their first like Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Justice for All. Some of the best like pieces of like thrash, whatever genre you want to throw Metallica in. They're like four of like some of the best like albums in like rock history, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Especially for
yeah,
me personally, I have to say Master of Puppets because that one did a lot. Because like I know it's really cliche, and I know Master of Puppets is one of the most basic like Metallic songs out there, but like it has so many like chord progressions, so many different changes, like how it goes from like
mhm,
thrash metal to like something very like orchestra type, and then going back to that, and then having something more like hard rock. It's just like just the amount of changes they have into it is a very like it's very
yeah,
unique
man.
about it, and that's why I feel like it's a really good album.
Yeah, it's a great album.
And
Um,
I do want to say this. So you're obviously a fan of both the 1975 and Metallica. How did you feel about Matt Heffy making fun of Metallica?
Matty Healy.
Matt Healy, that's
Um,
my bad.
no, you're good. You're good. You're good. I was a little heartbroken, to be honest, because he said Metallica was like the worst band ever, and I was like, man, like come on, you know, like I kind of understand where he's coming from. Like if I were Matty Healy, and I mean, I don't know, man. I didn't know how to feel about that. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna pretend like he didn't say that. But okay, hot take. Megadeth is the worst band to ever exist.
Thank you. Oh my. Okay, so
Dude, you hate Megadeth too?
I don't
I
like. I
hate
dislike them.
Megadeth.
The one thing I respect about that band is instrumentally. Instrumentally, they are one of the best bands out there. Vocally, Dave Mustaine, not a singer, should never been a singer.
I do agree with that one. I love their music. Music. I love their music. Um like Holy Wars, if that was just an instrumental, that would be the best one of the best metal songs ever written. Um but I hate Dave Mustaine. He's an
He's
he's not no, he's not it.
like he's a great guitar player, but I just feel like he should have made a band where he wasn't vocalist because he has like a high pitched whiny voice, and I can't get behind it. Like I love Holy Wars, and Peace Sells is one of the only songs I'll listen to and I'll tolerate because of how like awesome it is. But like
Yeah.
I checked out their newer album recently, and it's just not it. Like he should have made a band and got a good singer and should have left it that became the lead guitar player or just like whatever like it's just vocally it's just not it is not it it is
It's
not
not
it
it.
at all.
Yeah.
And like the name Megadeth, super cool. I love the name Megadeth. It's
It's
just
a cool name.
it's a great name. It's just Dave must like he's very like he may be an asshole, but he has some points that I do agree with. Like Lars of Metallica, I hate that guy. I hate Lars so goddamn much.
Really?
Yes, I
I
do
love
not like.
Lars.
Like I don't. I love James. I love Kurt, and I love the new bassist Rob. It's just Lars. I've never liked him, and especially when I found out. Do you know how he records his drums?
How?
He only does one part of the drum at a time. Like if he does like drums, he only does the snare at one part, and then the next little thing he does the cymbals, and then after that he does the bass drum, and after that he does the toms. He never does it full one take. He does each
Ew,
piece of the drum individually.
that's weird.
That's what I thought. Like it was something that was on the it was either the Black album or it was under Load or Reload. It was kind of behind the scenes and whatnot, and it kind of glimpse of like how he recorded his drums, and like I've just never thought he was a good drummer. Like I've never liked Lars.
I mean, yeah, his drumming's kind of like the same,
And it's
but
and like
he's okay.
this is another controversial opinion. I
Tell
actually
me.
like Saint Anger.
I do too. It sounds like a baseball bat, like hitting like a keg. But I like Saint Anger. It goes pretty hard. Eh, it's not my favorite album ever. I listened to it one time, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm just never gonna listen to this again. Like I'm gonna pretend that it didn't happen. However, I didn't like hate it. I was just like, it's like not something I would ever listen to again.
Like there's only one song off of it that I like will go back and listen to. It's the song called Some Kind of Monster, and as much as like I'm not a big fan of the drums, I just love that song in general. And it's just like Say Anger, like it was something very experimental, and like don't get me wrong, I don't like all the songs onto it. I respect the album though cuz I've heard way worse. And like
Yeah,
it's obviously not their best album, but it's not their worst album. I mean, what was that freaking Death Metallic or whatever? It was this what was it called
I know what you're talking about.
that was one of the hottest pieces of garbage I have
Yeah.
ever. It was no, not that one, I'm wrong, it was Lulu.
Oh, I forgot about Lulu.
Lulu, oh my, the only reason why I expect that is because they did a tribute to Lane Stanley from Alice in Chains. That's the only reason why I respect that EP or album.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
Lulu was not it, not it. But oh man. But while we're on the music taste, what is some of your like music tastes that you have that most people would not assume about you? What is one band that you would say and people would go like, oh wow, besides Taylor Swift?
So that's a great question. That's a really good question. I like Conway Twitty. I don't know if you know who that is, but Conway Twitty's really good. I love the Blue Nile. I love Slow Dive. Um, I'm rummaging through my records at the moment. Um, the Commodores. That's a crazy one.
Ooh.
Yeah. Uh, I mean, let me look. Let me look.
Well, while you're looking, I'll explain some of the ones I have that most people are like, what? So I love Halsey. Most people don't never would get that, but I absolutely love Halsey.
Oh yeah, I love Halsey. Halsey's really good.
And then I love a lot of rap music, like 90s rap music, like NWA, and then like I love a bunch of like Dr. Dre music. I love a bunch of like
Oh yeah.
Tupac, Biggie Smalls, stuff like that. Uh, what's another? I love Avril Lavigne. Avril Lavigne is one of my biggest guilty pleasures I have.
I'm not the biggest fan of Avril Lavigne because I have my reasons, but I'm
Do
not the
you
biggest fan.
do you believe that she the conspiracy theory where she got murdered?
No, I don't believe that because I've never heard that because I don't like Avril Lavigne. Um, uh, one of my guilty pleasures is um, fucking shit. What's the name? Oh my god, dude. Oh, when I'm in the car, I'll listen to the Star Wars soundtrack and pretend I'm like in like a fighter, like a TIE fighter or something, and it'll be all crazy and everything. I know that's really funny, but I look up to John Williams a lot, like a lot, because he's written some of the best pieces of music ever to be put in the film, like Harry Potter and like Home Alone and Star Wars, obviously. And I look up to him a lot. Like, how does he do it? How does
Honestly,
he just
I
how does he just throw
respect
it
that
together?
because like he like growing up as a little kid, like I'm pretty sure he did the Jurassic Park soundtrack too.
Yeah,
And growing up, I would listen to the entire soundtrack of Jurassic Park while building Legos.
yeah, bro. Literally, it's insane, man.
And like orchestra music and just like instrumental and like jazz, well, not jazz, more of like just I guess orchestra and music that that artist kind of produces. I've always been a huge fan of that. I love music like that. Always,
Me too.
I'm a huge sucker for like music that has just like a bunch of like trumpets and violins and do a lot of bass drums and stuff like that. I'm a sucker for that music. I love that music so much. It's something about it
Yeah,
that's just
bro.
extremely like peaceful and harmonious.
Yeah,
But yeah, John Williams, he's a great orchestra. Like he's still alive, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, man. He's pushing, but he's still kicking.
But
Um.
I know one of the things that you kind of wanted to talk about was good art.
Oh yeah,
So like, what
yeah, man.
do you mean like the Mona Lisa, or what kind of art do you mean?
I mean, like generally, bro. So some of my favorite art is Statue of David. I look up to David. I look up to King David a lot.
Hmm.
Um, I also look up to Da Vinci a lot. So I do like the Mona Lisa. Um, if you look up like videos on YouTube about like all the hidden messages and like how long it took to paint that and like all the different things about the Mona Lisa, it's insane. The Death of Marat is my favorite piece of art of all time.
Yeah,
And, that's a great painting. It's it's crazy. I love it.
it's kind of crazy of like how historically like significant like paintings are like that, and it's really cool like how like each style of painting is like from like there's different styles right like there's the renaissance and then there's like the dark ages and just like different ages like that's where like different art came out, and I feel like that's like a certain reason why art is so important because it kind of represents how our society used to be back in them days. Like the Mona Lisa is relatively like not that attractive of a woman in my opinion, but like how back then that's what they like idealed as like beauty. And it is
Yeah.
it's kind of cool to see like how a painting like that is like one of the most like I'm pretty sure that painting's worth like over $3 million or like it's an expensive painting. So it's kind of cool
It's
to see
just
like how like all like kind of art like that is like kind of like a huge significance of like to our culture in general. And it's kind of
yeah, bro.
and especially like how you said like the statue of David, how like
Uh-huh.
you enjoyed that. Well, it's kind of cool to see like how that's how Greece like architecture like how their art was back in the day. They didn't really focus on paintings. They did more of like statues and like carving into buildings and their magnificent like architecture.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool to just like to see stuff like I'm not a huge sucker for art. Like it's clear that you have better taste than I do, but it's really cool just like seeing like the historical significance of like all of like this type of art and like architecture and seeing like how important it is to our
hmm
daily society.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Oh no! Like, thanks for bringing that. Like, that's like something I didn't really expect whenever when me and you were behind the scenes talking about like this music like podcast in general. I remember you said you want to talk about good art. I was like, huh, that caught me off guard.
Yeah, I look up to good art a lot. Um,
Would you say you get somewhat of an inspiration for your from your music from good art?
Most definitely. Most definitely. Uh, Van Gogh is my favorite artist of all time. I know it's a little cliche, but I have a special place in my heart for Van Gogh. Have you seen the movie At Eternity's Gate, starring Willem
I
Dafoe
I
playing Van Gogh?
I think I have. Was it released recently, or is it an older movie?
It's I think it was 2017,
Was it
16.
the one that had Robert Pattinson?
No, no, that's The Lighthouse, which is another good movie.
Okay.
Um,
I guess I need to watch this other William Dafoe movie.
oh yeah, it's really good. Oh, do you know the meme where Willem Dafoe is like under like a blue light and he's like looking up and it's like a falling dresser about to like hit a baby or whatever?
Oh
You know what I'm
yeah,
talking about?
yeah. I know
That's
exactly what you're
from
talking
At
about. Great
Eternity's
meme.
Gate.
That is a great
Yeah,
meme.
yeah, that's from the movie where he played Van Gogh.
That's really like I didn't know William Dafoe. Like I guess that makes sense. William Dafoe has never been one to play like normal roles. He's always been known to
Yeah,
play like cool roles. That's
like the
really
bad
cool.
guy.
Was Van Gogh a
Yeah.
bad guy? Was a bad guy?
No, 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 no.
Oh,
He Willem Dafoe normally plays the bad guys
oh
in
yeah.
movies. But yeah, man, it's crazy to watch the story of Van Gogh.
You do have to admit William Dafoe as the bad guy. He usually kills it.
Yeah, he does kill it.
And like this is another controversial opinion. This has nothing to do with music. Well, I guess it could do something with music since movies or have music stuff to them. Uh, Great cast, but I feel like Spider-Man, like the 2020, I mean the 2001, 2002. Oh my gosh, that's the series of the Spider-Man. Not my favorite.
Yeah.
I feel like it was good for its time, but he wasn't like the best Spider-Man or like the best like Spider-Man franchise.
I'm gonna have to skip that question with you, or that topic, because I strongly disagree.
Tobey Maguire is your favorite Spider-Man?
Tobey Maguire is the only Spider-Man.
Okay, you do have to admit, Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland do a good like portrayal of their own type of Spider-Man.
They killed it. Okay, they killed it. They're really good at him too. However, Tobey Maguire is he reigns king, bro.
Okay, so why is the first Spider-Man? Is it like a nostalgic factor, or do you just like really enjoy the movies that much?
Nostalgia plays a factor in that. But it's just so good. You know, like just imagine this. What if a Spider-Man never came out until 2018, or was it 2016? That
2016.
That the Tom Holland one came out.
Mm-hmm.
What if Spider-Man, the entire story, well, except for the comics, but like the entire movie franchise, waited until 2016 to come out? You see what I mean? It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's the new Tom Holland Spider-Man isn't like he's not like a badass. You know, he's just like this. He plays more into the teenager side of Spider-Man than Tom Holland plays into all of the aspects of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know, and Andrew Garfield has that problem too. You know, I look at Andrew Garfield and I'm like, oh, that's just, you know, like that's just Peter Parker, or like Tom Holland, that's just Peter Parker, you know. But Tobey Maguire is part Peter Parker and Spider-Man.
I felt like I feel like I feel like Andrew Garfield had a lot of potential, but they did not have a good like director for it. I feel like they should have had like a better like, because he was a good Peter Parker, but I feel like they should have had like more of a better script for him, because like that entire movie franchise, as good as it was, it got done wrong.
I agree.
And
It was good.
he could have like been so much better, and like he was a very emotional about the thing, and the chemistry between him and like what was her name? Emma Stone. The connection that him and Emma Stone had is one of the reasons why I love that movie. But
Yeah.
Okay. The main reason I know why you love Spider-Man so much, the first one,
Look at Tully.
is because of Chad Kroger's hero. Don't lie. We both know that's why.
Well, I mean, I guess.
Controversial opinion. Do not like that song. Anyway, it's very.
I hate. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
The
So
joke was
wait.
the joke was funnier in my head.
So you mentioned you wanted to do like a play-by-play of the songs on the EP.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So is there like a certain story to where like each like does each song like have like a story and like in a chapter for you, or is like each song like individually different? Like for a lot of artists when they do like albums and EPs, they have like the first song is like the beginning, and then like the rest are kind of like in the middle. Like they have like their own little story to them, like a little storyline.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Is that
I
how kind of how
understand.
the EP was for you?
Um, Kinda. Yeah. Let me pull it up on Spotify and so I can look up the track list to see like how it's placed. But yeah, I like how you just brought that up because I think most albums and most music like that just kind of falls into place.
Yeah.
Um, Let me look.
So the track list I have it right here for you. The first one is
Oh,
A
okay, yeah.
Place to Stay.
Okay.
The second one is Cold. The third one is Lily. The fourth one is Fermented. The fifth one is Weak. And then the last one is 95 Bars of Love.
Okay. So a place to stay is kind of the start because it's about what I see, like what I want to see in a girl. I mean, the lyrics are super like they're like really, like straightforward. Like the verse is like a standing face to face with arms wide open, and I'm lost with you. And then the chorus is make a promise to me, baby, tell me you love me, baby, and maybe we can try again. Um, but the song itself is about what I see in a girl and what I want in a girl. The chorus actually does have a deeper meaning. So make a promise to me, baby, is about a certain someone who who was uncontrollable with the things they did that ultimately hurt her, but hurt myself as well. And I wanted her to stop. I wanted her for the sake of her life as well as our relationship. I just I needed to stop, and so I was like, make a promise to me that things will change, and tell me you love me, baby. That is about a different someone who I needed a lot of reassurance from. So like, tell me you love me, and maybe we can try again. That is for the girl I wrote the EP about because we we're always finding ourselves starting over with each other. As much as I want that to stop, so we can just like keep going forever and ever.
Yeah.
Um, like maybe we could try again. And the bridge that goes, need a place to stay. There's always an extra bed at my house. Um, about being comfortable with somebody. Um, I've never thought of home to be a person until I met this girl that I'm writing this about. The entire EP is about my home, which is that person. And, like, there's always an extra bed at my house. You can always sleep deep within my heart if you would like to.
Yeah.
That's what I meant by that.
Well, that's cool. I'm sorry. I'm really excited to like listen to this EP now because like hearing you kind of break it down and like one thing I love about music is like when you write a song and you don't tell no one what it's about. Everyone's own imagination when they listen to it could be whatever they want it to be. But the other side of
Yeah,
things is like whenever you know like the entire breakdown of the song, that kind of makes it even more special because now you know the reason why that artist wrote that song.
yeah,
So like it's kind of like the both sides are really beautiful in their own way, and kind of hearing you explain like the deeper meaning behind the tracks is like very like impactful, and it's very just like it's very informative, and I'm like it's making me want to like like go off and listen to this EP now.
yeah, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. that's always a good thing when people like make up their own stories about it. You know, it doesn't hurt anybody. It's pretty cool actually. Um,
I agree.
but yeah, but yeah. So
So
cold.
yeah,
Oh,
cold.
sorry.
Oh, I was about to say
Oh,
about the same thing you were gonna say.
okay, okay. So cold is Oh, wait, before I say anything. A place to stay is the first encounter of, okay, think about the whole EP as if a guy and a girl are meeting. Okay. The guy and the girl could be whoever you want it to be, whether it's me and the girl I'm talking about, or it's just another guy and a different girl, or just whoever. The first song, A Place to Stay, is the guy and the girl meeting, and the guy's like, here's what I want in a girl, and if you can't offer me this, I don't know what to tell you. Okay. Cold is a um here's the breakdown of the song. Cold is a instrumental song. Um and I wrote it because it makes me feel like I can relax. And it makes me want to sit back, watch the ceiling and fall asleep. And it that's also what you want in a girl, you want to be able to just sit there and just you feel like you're yourself and feel like you're at home. And cold makes you feel like you're at home, or at least that's what I've tried to get it to go for. But also is that's the part where everything's good, everything's great, and you like in the relationship and you're just at the peak. That's what cold is.
Okay, that's really cool. I always love a good instrumental from an artist, and I'm more kind of really excited to hear that now. Like, it, I agree with you, like how you kind of explained like how a girl is kind of like something you just kind of want. If a girl that you truly love and want to be with, and like how y'all both can like relax around each other and not have to like. Because I know a lot of relationships, especially like from people in Waxahachie and people I know here, they all they do is like argue and this like fight and never have like any like harmony in their thing, and it's very like important to have a harmony and like have that peacefulness and relaxation with someone.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So I kind of like how you kind of like made that into a track, and that's what that track is about. So I really enjoy that personification of it.
Yeah, thanks.
So Lily, obviously we know about it's about this girl, but is there a deeper meaning behind this track?
So yeah, Lily, um this is the name of the girl. She texted me one day and she's like, Merik. I was like, yo, what's up? She's like, hey, I want you to write me a song that I can fall asleep to. And I was like, okay, yeah, like let me just go do that. And so I did, and I was like, I'm gonna write the song. It's gonna be good, and I hope she likes it. So I wrote it, or no, I was beginning to write it. And I was like, man, I'm not really one to just throw together a song that I want to put a lot of effort into. So I did put a lot of effort into it, and it ultimately came out to be like a really heavy hitting song, to where like it's not really something you can fall asleep to. There's a lot of drums, it's really heavy. Um, and it's about her. The verse goes, um, when you're down in your bed, do you take what's given? When you're hanging by a thread, is your life worth living?
Ooh,
Um, what I mean by those lyrics is, hey, dog, I can be here if you give me a chance. You know,
yeah,
like, but I want to know where we're going to go, and that's the chorus. But I want to know where we're going to go. Um, and that's like, I want to know what your decision is. Like,
yeah,
can I be there to help you? Um, it kind of just speaks for itself. But I mean, it's a really heavy song. It's long. It's really good. I put a lot of my voice effort into it, like vocally. So I mean, I hope it's really good. So in the story, Lily is about. It can be about like getting real serious into the relationship you're in with the girl, or into the relationship the guy's in with the girl, right?
yeah.
So yeah.
So, one of my questions is because Fermented is on this EP as well. Where does Fermented kind of fit in? Like, if this like EP is a story, where does Fermented kind of fit into this? Do you believe that Fermented can kind of be like a faith thing revolving a relationship?
Okay. So yeah, kind of. Um, Fermented, where it goes into the story, it can be like, um, I mean, I kind of like had something written down. It's like you're struggling with your own battles within yourself because Fermented isn't really about Lily. It's about yourself or about myself, and you can't forget though, when you're in a relationship, you have to worry about yourself as well. You know.
Yeah.
Um, so Fermented is kind of just like a cry for help. Deep um, within your own self.
And I do have to say, Fermented is probably my favorite track right now. I haven't listened to the EP once again, but like Fermented, I do quite. I've listened to it about like 5 times now, and I really enjoy the track.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, Fermented is really emotional.
So, what's Weak about?
So weak is um okay. So think of Fermented as the climax. Everything goes wrong, and you're trying to get back into the, regular thing, and the guy gets the girl at the end. So that's kind of what Week is about. The guy gets the girl at the end, everything's mended. I wrote it about being young and knowing Lily while we were young. And I can't remember the lyrics at this moment, but the chorus is um I'm feeling weak. I'm feeling weak. That I'm feeling weak really means like I need your help. Like I can't, like really go on without you. Like you're my reason for living. Like that's why I feel weak around you. I wanted to write in there something kind of nitty gritty. Like, yeah, this girl or like this thing might make me feel a certain way, like might make my knees shake, but you make me weak. You know,
Okay,
does that make any sense at all?
that makes sense. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and weak is acoustic and it is live. It's a live song.
Oh, so is it kind of like something that like is it kind of like an unplugged thing, or is it kind of like
Yeah, yeah,
okay?
definitely.
So is it like something like when you mean like acoustic? Do you mean like you just like were in your room playing it? You kind of record it through your phone, or is it kind of like something you just like or like at like a show and you recorded it and then like you put it in, or like what do you mean exactly by that?
I haven't played any shows yet.
Oh, okay.
Um, as much as I wish I could. I wish I could score a show. But it was, like I've had this song forever, and I was like, "There's no way any drums are gonna fit on the song." I can't fit bass in here, keys, drums. It'll just sound weird. And so I was like, I was there, at a church that I would go to, and I was like, I need to record this. So I did, and it was live, and it's a big church, and it was empty, and it sounded great. Although I was a little flat in some areas, the song just sounded great, and I was like, I need to, get this out there. So I did.
I've always like what was this band name? I'm pretty sure they were called of Monsters and Men, and they were
Yeah, I know who they are.
there was they recorded their first like an entire album. I can't remember which one it was, but they recorded an entire album in a huge Catholic church, to where like it had that huge like echoing I don't know the right word for it, but like stuff like that makes songs like really cool. Like you have like that orchestra hall sound to it, where it kind of echoes and has like that haunting feel to it.
Yeah, that's what's up.
So is that what kind of like where you got like the church thing and you heard that you're like, oh, I have to like, is that why you kind of like, oh, this sounds so different, this sounds so like unique from everything else?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of a junkie for reverb. Um, all of my songs, I don't ever have any clean vocals on my songs. Like I use autotune on everything. I use reverb on everything. Um, so all of them are just like super dirty.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And like one thing I do want to say like is a lot of people shit on autotune when they really shouldn't. Like autotune isn't that bad of a thing.
yeah, it really isn't because a lot of the best artists ever use autotune.
And like I think that makes like concerts more powerful. Is like when you listen to the album, that's like the perfected version of like what they can do. But then in person, you get like the raw experience. Like you get like the raw
hmm
vocals, the raw instrumentals. You get the raw everything. So I think that makes like it more like special than like the
Yeah,
EP itself.
unless you know what you're working with, like technically.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
So 95 bars of love. Um, that song, it's not really a song. It's 95 bars of me. So 95 bars as in I was on my software and I was like, I want to record something. And so I had a thought. Do you know the song How to Never Stop Being Sad?
It
Do you know?
sounds familiar.
So there's a song. It's called How to Never Stop Being Sad. And this guy, he has a pad, which is like, let me play the pad for you. Hold on. Or not, never mind. Anyways, he has a pad where he has this prolonged C chord. I got it. It just stays there. It's really sustained, and he plays a prolonged C chord, and he just speaks over it. He's just like, yeah, like go to a coffee shop and write in a journal, blah blah blah. Listen to sad music, bring yourself down, all that.
Yeah.
And he talks on the song. And so 95 bars of love is 95 bars of me talking about the first time me and Lily ever hung out and when I just like fell head over heels in love. And it's about our first kiss as well.
Okay, like that's really cool. Like that's something not you wouldn't see from many artists. So that kind of gives you like your own unique like spin to it. So like that's really cool.
Yeah.
I bet she really. I bet Lily. Really, oh, I'm sorry. I bet Lily really enjoys this EP.
Yeah, I mean, I hope. We'll put a lot of effort into it.
She just texts you goes like, "This is garbage. Why would you?"
But yeah, man.
Has she talked to you about it at all?
Yeah, yeah. She has. She says she likes it. I mean, which I'm really glad that she does. Like she didn't, but it's something really special.
Is it like?
Not everybody writes like 5 songs about somebody and releases them to the people.
Oh yeah, like it takes a lot of like courage to do stuff like that, and that's why I was very like impressed when we reconnected and started talking. When you told me about that, that made me very impressed. Not a lot of people who are musicians, and I'm including myself, have the courage to drop a single or just an EP in general. And the fact that you did it and like released like your talent into the world, that's something very special.
Thank you, thank you.
And like once again, Fermented, go check it out. Banger of a track, even though I recently found out the entire official audio was just a loops 15-second thing, still a banger of a track.
Yeah, man, it's a banger.
But I guess that kind of wraps everything up. Is there anything you want to tell everybody?
Message for everybody.
Yeah, just some your own little message to my viewers, your viewers, just like everyone who's watching.
Everyone who's watching, here's a message for you from yours truly, Merik Monroe. Do whatever your heart tells you to do, regardless of the people around you telling you differently. Because if you never try, how will you never know what you're good at? So, always put your heart where your heart is telling you to go, and courage comes a long way. The end.
That was a powerful message. Thank you. That was a good little thing to leave off on. But thank you, everybody. I'm the Abyss Fallen, aka Zachary, and this was my guest Merik. And I'll see y'all in the next episode. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.